Hi, I'm Sharon. Welcome to Burmese Radio. So in this channel, I'm introducing a professional in Seattle and Kyoto. So today's fantastic guest is...
こんにちは。私の名前はエリックです。
So I'd like him to introduce himself first. You've been to Japan before.
Been 4 times. My wife grew up in Japan. Now our son goes to Japanese preschool, so he's learning how to speak Japanese. So I'm learning through both of them. But I first met my wife in Japan back in 2004 near Mount Fuji. And then once we got married, we went on our honeymoon there. We hiked Mount Fuji at night. You hike all night and then get to the top at sunrise. And we loved being there. And then we've been back 2 more times since that. One time with our son when he was just 1 year old. But now that he's learning Japanese, we want to go back again so he can see Japan himself.
So you must be very interested in that. What kind of artwork he's doing?
The majority of the work that I do is kind of flat lay photography. So I use natural elements that I collect. This is rocks that I found at the beach, and I arrange them in different patterns. But I use all different kinds of natural elements. These are leaves that I found in the fall here. All from different trees, from kind of like dark, very maroon colored over to yellow here. And these are some ajisai flowers that I arranged. So that is most of what I do on Instagram, but I've also been interested in natural inks and dyes that I make. So this is Oregon grape that I took and collected a lot of the fruits and then smashed them and boiled them down to make an intense color that I can paint with. This is...
Can I put the brush in there?
Go ahead, dip the brush straight into it.
All right.
And get it nice and wet. And the color will go on one color, and then over 1 hour it'll change color, and then even the next day it'll be slightly different.
Wow, that must be...
Yeah, it goes on purple, but it'll dry more of a blue color. And if you add baking soda to it or anything, it'll change to like a gray-green color. And if you add even just tap water, it changes to like a more blue. It's a really nice color. It's my favorite ink of the different ones that I've made.
Yeah, I can imagine how it's gonna be beautiful. So I saw your shopping site, and so I could see the explanation about your art, and it shows like a amalgamation of botany and food.
Botanic Table of Elements, the name is kind of an amalgamation of it's a play on words from the periodic table of elements, all the different copper and hydrogen, oxygen. But this is taking elements that already exist in nature and arranging them. Then I also like the play on words that it's a table because a lot of it has to do with food. So it's the table of elements. So it's kind of a mixture of the things that I like, the nature, food, art, how they interact with each other. Whenever I learn about something new, I try and just dive in and learn as much as I can. And the more that I learn about different things, it helps me in other areas of life. So learning about music helps me to be a better cook, and learning about science helps me, to arrange these things. I can base some of my kind of layouts on the either like microscopic shapes found in nature or macro, like huge shapes in nature. So when I was little, I was very interested in art. As I got a little bit older, I stopped doing art as much. It didn't fit into my life. But at some point I realized that it was valuable to me. Just practicing it was like almost like a spiritual thing, or it's good for my mental health. So before we had kids, I used to do an event called Drink and Draw, where I would have different friends over and we would have drinks and everybody would just work on whatever their art was. I have a friend who does graffiti, And so he would do like sketches, and I have another friend who does like watercolor art. And so we would all work on our own things, but then sometimes we would switch off. Like you start something and then you just hand it to the person next to you, and they take that style and they build off of it, and then you hand it to the next person. And so you create like an interactive art of all kinds of different styles.
Oh, it must be fun.
Yeah, it was super fun, and I miss being able to do that. Once we had kids, it became more difficult. So for a few years, I wasn't really doing any art, but just almost, I guess this past year, I've had more free time during coronavirus, that I've jumped back in and kind of dedicated myself to doing it more, and I found, a lot of enjoyment.
So do you recommend those kind of artwork or any other artwork to all generations?
Yeah, I think find something that fits your specific style. Maybe somebody likes to do graphic design or likes to cook or likes to sing. I think it's important for everybody to be creative and to create with other people. I think has a special bond. So even if you don't think you have time, you should find a creative outlet.
Oh,
I love Japanese design. It's very simple, but perfectly done. In the architecture, and the food, we eat a lot of Japanese food at home. Our son likes Japanese food more than he likes American food, so we cook a lot of Japanese food. I have a lot of respect for Japanese culture and the Japanese friends that I have. So especially natural elements that are found in Japan. The seasons and nature, I think, is an influence for me in how I design.
You are making miso, right?
Yeah,
By yourself?
Yep, I'm making miso. I've done it 3 years in a row now. It was hard to figure it out the first time because I didn't have anybody teach me. I was reading online and trying to watch videos and trying things. It's not difficult to do, it just takes a lot of time. Time is what gives it that flavor. Like if you taste it the first day, it doesn't taste like very much. But just letting it sit, being patient, the flavor develops over time.
It's like natural ink which you're making, right?
Yeah, everything takes time. And the time will give it a better quality. Big corporations can't take that time. They need everything to be done quickly so they can sell it quickly. The time and care that's given to one
But you are enjoying the processes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's very important thing. Your healthy life.
Yeah,
Mentally and physically.
And to make a good finished product, you have to enjoy what you're doing. If you're not enjoying the process, you probably won't enjoy the end product.
Yeah. So today, I'll thank you very much for showing us your great works and it's so fantastic new art. Thank you so much, Erik.
Yeah, thank you. ありがとう。
ありがとうございます。本日もご視聴ありがとうございました。彼の周りには本当に自然なものもいっぱいで、奥様も一緒にアートされたりとかして本当に素敵なご夫婦なんです。コージーでシンプルででもドラマチックなすごく陰と陽がしっかりあるようなスタイルで私はすごく好きなんです。ですのでぜひ日本のね皆様にもこの、アートエリックのボタニックテーブルっていうねアートをお届けできたらなと思って、今回一緒に、撮らせていただきました。Art is always with you. Thank you for watching. Where so we can buy your artworks?
Yeah, I have prints for sale on my website. It's botanictable.com, which I think we'll put a link in the notes to where you can go to the shop and order prints of my artwork.
So, もう一回ね。